The Hamilton Ticats lose 30-20 to the Calgary Stampeders on Saturday. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton. And Steve, this was a different kind of loss, not a last-second brutal loss, but they add up, and you get the sense that there's some frustration building.
Big-time frustration. I mean, they stayed in that locker room for how long afterwards? 20 to 25 minutes, violation of league policy, but they didn't care because they need to get something straight here. They're going on a break here right now. This team comes through. In my mind, I don't think they're ill prepared, but they're not ready for that first 3 minutes of the game. It is so obvious. You look at both first drives. They killed their own drive. They finally get a couple of first downs, and then they kill their own drive. And then 4 penalties. They only had 7 penalties all game, and 4 of them come in the first Calgary drive. And they score into the wind. That is not only a problem for a team that's been losing close games to give one up early, but it's psychologically an issue. Not so much for the Ticats, but for the other team. Hey, we can score into the wind, and that was a strong wind.
The other big news coming out of this game is quarterback Dan Lefevre, who went down in the fourth quarter with an apparent knee injury. No official update other than Ken Dawson saying it didn't look good, and it did not look good. If they don't have Dan Lefevre and they don't have Zach Collaros, what do they have?
I think they're looking at trade. I think you gotta look somewhere else. You can't bring a new guy into the league, so you got to find a guy who's played. If that's the case, I think they're going to really make sure before they do anything that Collaros, can't play on Labor Day. I mean, I don't know how close he is. We haven't seen anything from him. So they're in trouble here. If in fact Dan is really hurt, they're definitely in trouble as they showed in this game.
Brian Bulkey talked after the game. He was one of the players who spoke up after the loss and talked about them being a new team after they come back from the break into a new stadium, which obviously is not guaranteed, but, about no heads down. I mean, you worry that this team isn't going to be able to rally back over and over again, that these losses are going to amount to the point where they can no longer recover. I mean, do you get that sense, or do they still have time here?
I think they still have time, partly because of the division they played, and even the most they can be is 4 points out of first place. They know they play everybody, but I think that's false. That's false stuff. That's assuming that you'll go in and you beat all these teams. There's nothing to make that assumption on right now. I think they need the break right now. And I think if they're ever going to sort of make a clean start of it, it's right now, and it's going into Labor Day and all of this stuff. There's a lot more excitement around here on Labor Day, and you got to be able to. I think one of the problems is they're coming too excited. Luke Tasker talked to me a little bit about there. He says not ill preparation. He says I think we're making too big a thing of it, and there's guys getting a little overexcited and maybe trying too hard and all that stuff. And I don't like this trying too hard stuff, but I think there's some point to be made there that they may be making too much of it early, because he says we come out in the third quarter and we got control of ourselves, and really in a lot of areas they had more yards than Calgary. They had fewer penalty yards than Calgary did. They had more first downs than Calgary did, but they lost. Timing is everything.
Make sure you check out Monday's Spectator for a full game report. Reporting from McMaster University with the Spec Steve Milton, I'm Drew Edwards.